listen to Esau, the so-called white man, and stubborn toward their own people. This ain't no put down, but I'm gonna say it like this. I was talking to an elderly woman, no, more so an elderly man, right, about using people. That's what I was talking about, using people, right? I told him how I'm upfront. And if I send somebody trying to get over on me or somebody else, see, people don't like me. I'm outspoken. I'm very outspoken. Now, I used to didn't be, but people don't really like my energy because my energy, I'm straightforward and I'm directly to, they actually say I'm crazy because I'm outspoken. Sometimes it's best to be outspoken because people take you for a shit ride. They do. But they ain't gonna do none of that energy to the so-called white man, Esau. I told him, I told a brother, and I said the same thing that I would want you to do me the same way. If I'm going off and I ain't doing right, then if you care about me as a brother, or a friend, or a brother, then you would tell me. You ain't gonna sit there and see me go off and not tell me about myself. You know, I said, that's the way I want you to do for me. If I'm going off, you're supposed to be telling me. That's what it's all about. You know? But you have a lot of people, they say, look, bro, it ain't nothing righteous about when people sit up and say, I'm a child of God. And I'm going like, what the fuck did this? What the fuck did they just say? But for the most part, people can't handle me. That's why when the so-called white man look at me, and then we wonder why God sent all these calamities. Because we worship and serve the enemy more than the Creator. But our people don't want that. I noticed that I was telling this to this elderly person, and I noticed that they were stubborn, and they said, turn the news on. It's like when I told them that I tell people straight up not to go around using people. And it's sad. You would think that our elderly people is supposed to be telling, spitting righteousness out. But no, I said, okay, I see what's going on here in the game they playing. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I see the game that they playing. Mm-hmm. And they can use you for a slave. Yeah, think they can use you for a slave. think the thing that they mad about, when you up front with people, yeah, when you up front with people, they get mad. They don't like that. They envy that type of spirit. Because for me, Esau and trained our people is to be demonic toward each other. But as you know, it's funny how they believe everything that they see on the news. Our people worship the white man. We got the spirit of taking advantage of each other. It's no different from a gold digger who trying to get over on you. But they want you to come and do work for them and then turn around. And the stuff that they do to you, they will do it to the white man. The white man's news come on. I noticed that these two elderly people, they were stubborn. I said, this is a damn shame. They stubborn as a fucking mule. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy. And then when you present yourself a certain way that they don't like, then they wonder what the fuck wrong with you. You see what I'm saying? The problem is you full of shit. You know? Full of shit. You know? Yup, that's what it is. Your ass is full of shit. And see, there's a reason why the Most High got me up this late. When he allowed, have you ever been around a person and it's like your spirit just don't feel right with them? You know? It's just something ain't right. You know what I mean? It's like you just can't get right with them. And I'm the type of person, I came from an era, whatever I don't like about you, I ain't gonna go behind your back. I'm gonna tell you straight up how I feel. I ain't gonna shoot a quote, nothing, not one thing. I'm completely raw. And I think when you up front like that, people hate that. Mm-hmm. People envy that. You know? They really do. They envy that. People wants to tell you certain things and control you. Yeah, so that's why most of the time, man, I separate myself. What was that? It was some scripture that I was gonna go to, and then one of the reasons why our people are in a fallen condition the way that they are, we're not doing one simple thing. We're not keeping the commandments of God. That's one. We ain't doing right. And when we don't do right according to this book, let me give you an example of that. We ain't doing right. And we don't want to we want to throw out all of the words, he this and that and the third, and his daddy was like this here. But when you point them to the scriptures, it's like they try to maneuver their way around. They don't want to have nothing to do with it. And if you listen to their conversation, they don't want to have nothing to do with this book. They want to speak their own words. Yeah. Look what the Most High says in Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe. Observe means to pay attention. To do, that means that's an action word. To do all his commandments, which I commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. That means that we would listen, but we not listening. This is the reason why we going through calamities. We as black, so-called black people of color, we're at the bottom because we not listening to this book. And these curses is lying upon us. And they're going to forever lie upon us if we don't keep these commandments. It says, verse 3 of Deuteronomy 28, blessed shall thou be in the city. If you look at us as a people, are we blessed? No. And blessed shall thou be in the field. When you look at us on these jobs, have we been making minimum wages, fair pay, been getting paid good on these jobs, like working for McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's? Are we actually in the past and even to this day getting paid right on? No. Verse 4, blessed shall be the fruit of thy body. If you really think about it, are our kids blessed? Do we have successful families as so-called black people, people of color? Do we really have successful families? I'm talking about as a whole, not collectively. Are we at the bottom or are we at the top? When you think of so-called black people, Hispanic people, neighbors of America, black people, are we at the bottom or at the top? Are we at the bottom? Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle. Do we own our own animals and livestock and stuff? Most part we don't. The fruit of thy body, is our children really blessed? What are our children doing today? Some of everything. The vast majority of the prison system is overpopulated by black males and black women. Our people, black, Hispanic, and natives of America, fill up the population of the jail. If you don't believe it, look at the statistics. They're there. We'll take time to get off into it, but not right now. All right. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15, look what it says. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, that means pay attention, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. If we don't listen to him, he said bad things we're gonna get these ass whoopings. That's what that means. He said we're gonna get ass whoopings. Let's see what some of these ass whoopings will be. Verse 16, curses shall thou be in the city. If you look at us, he said all these curses, right? Let me ask this question. Let me ask you this here, whoever's watching. Is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? The so-called white man pull you over, the cops or whatever pull you over, take blackjacks and beat you because you're a so-called black person. Is that good or bad? For your son, you get a call to say your son is locked up in prison. Is that a blessing? When have you ever seen a black woman, so-called black woman or black man say, we got your son up here in jail, he got several charges on him. Oh, praise it, blessed be the Most High. Thank you, Jesus. My son and got locked up and he got a lot of charges. You see how stupid that sounds? That's a curse, bro. Who experiencing that the most? The black man, the so-called black man, not no white man. The so-called black woman going through that. Not the damn heathens, not the Chinese man, because the Arabs and all those people had our people in slavery too. You look at us as a people, do we own our own business? Can you go to your own field and pick your own rice? Can you go and get your own milk where you won't have to go and buy milk out the store? Can we do that? Do we have the materials to build our own houses and stuff? Mm-mm. Can I go right now and build me a modern day computer right now for myself? I don't have to buy that. I can just create and make all the equipments. I got the machines and everything. I can do all that myself. Mm-mm. We got to go to the other nations for that. If this, let's look at this phone right here. This is an iPhone, right? If this screen crack on here, guess what I couldn't do? I couldn't fix that. You gotta go, more than likely, we gotta go to our enemies to get them to fix this here. And when whatever it costs to fix it, they charge $200, $200, close to $280 just to fix a cracked screen. Some of them. You see what I'm saying? One of these days I'm gonna give y'all an example. I might go and deliberately ask them that question and put it on camera and see that's what I told y'all. That's a curse. That's a curse. We gotta go to other people to buy what we need. But our people don't like listening. It says, curses shall be thy basket and thy store. Do we own our own business? That's what I literally just said a while ago. Verse 18, curses shall be the fruit of thy body. When you look at our children, are they blessed? Are they really truly blessed? No, they in jail or in prison or on drugs. We know this is in the African American community. We know this stuff. Go on. Verse 19, curses shall be when thou comest in. When we are born into this world, we're born in poverty. I was born in poverty. My brothers and my sister, all of them was born in poverty. No food. Growing up, no food in the house. All right? And curses shall thou be when thou goest out. When you die, you leave into this world with nothing, and you're going to die poor. Come in the world, you're poor. You leave out the world, you're going to leave out poor. We were never able to be successful or rich or own anything. Let's go on. Okay, and the Lord shall send upon thee curses and vexation and rebuke and all that thou settest thy hand thou settest thy hand unto for to do until thou be destroyed. Let's skip. Let's go to another curse. I'm skipping. It's a lot of them, but I'm not going to go through all of them. Just read Deuteronomy 28 in your spare time. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 17. My bad. Wrong. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 37. Look at this one. This is another curse. And thou shalt become an astonishment. That means the other nations going to look at you with surprise and astonishing, and they're going to like, what the hell is going on with these people? And thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword. What is a byword? You taking on a name that is not yours, that your enemy gave you, black, African American, and all that type of stuff. I'm Creole, I'm French Creole, and black, and I'm French this, and Jamaican, and Puerto Rican, and black, and Puerto Rican, and Creole. Those are bywords that when we didn't listen to God, He used the enemy. The enemy came in and conquered us and took all that. And thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword amongst all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Let's skip and go to verse 43. The Bible says, and the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high. The strangers, who are the strangers? He said, the strangers shall get above thee very high. who rule in this world? When you look at all of the men that rule the White House, who's ruling all of that? Who controlled in the White House? All of them so-called presidential was in presidents. What are their names? We know. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. What nation of people on the planet live in a lower state more than anybody in poverty, on welfare, food stamps, SSON, and all that, JoJoN, and I'm just saying something. What nation of people live from food stamps and less income, living in low income apartments, paying high rent, damn near 2,000 goddamn dollars a month, and can't even afford to pay that, and then they have to let a bill go, like such as a phone bill, all of that. Your phone bill is high as hell. You got a credit that you owe credit for $10,000. You can't pay that off until you get your so-called quote-unquote settlement. And then I'm gonna pay all my credit card debts off. Or I still owe the finance company $20,000. I don't know where I'm gonna get the money from that from. I owe a phone bill. My phone bill is $600. What nation of people suffer that the most? So-called black people, bro. That's our people. That's us. That's talking about us. Now, I'm saying black. I'm not saying literal black. Black is just the color in the crayon box. I'm just saying so-called. I just use that because that's the names that we go by. So-called black. You see what I'm saying? Not saying that we're actually that, but those are names that the enemy call our people. Okay. So far, I said the strange that is within thee. That's in verse 43 of Deuteronomy 28 and 43. Deuteronomy 28. The strange that is within thee shall get above thee. That's the Chinese man. That's the Arab man. That's the Saudi Arabian man. All those people that who are not indigenous to this country. Those are the strangers. Strangers who cannot be adopted into the family of Israel. They're different. So, I guess that's it for right now. Since I can't think of nothing else right now. But that's what's going on. We're not listening to the Most High. And I'm going to get into tomorrow in Deuteronomy 28 and verses 58. It's dealing with the diseases that is up on the planet Earth, such as so-called, what they call corona. I'll show y'all that's biblical in the Bible, that God said that those things will happen if our people didn't listen to him, didn't listen to his commandments and stuff. So if we don't listen, as a result, curses come like that. So I guess there's nothing else for me to say. I don't want to hold it out too long. That's like patient. But the so-called white man is the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. That's what he is. And our people are stubborn in their mind and trained in their mind is to rebel against truth. Galatians 4:16 say, I am therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth. No, I think that's Galatians, I might be right. 1 minute. Real quick. Guess I tricked myself. Galatians. Galatians 4:16. I was right. And I am therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth. A lot of people is your enemy when you up front and straight up with them. That's what the Apostle Paul is saying. We'll get off into that another time. Galatians 4:16. He said, I am therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth. What that sound like? That's biblical prophecy. When you straight up and when you straightforward with people and you tell them you ain't with that bullshit, sometimes your own family members, like the Bible says, will turn against you. Them the ones gonna do it. I just say, I'm just up front. Oh, that ain't of God. I say, that's Christianity. That's the so-called white man's Christianity talking to your ass. He done put that in your head. And you want me to feed into that bullshit. Christianity. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Christ wasn't no soft-spoken man. Let me get up out of here and I'll see y'all in the next video. All right, I'm out.